You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. The breaking news is that in the state of Michigan, they have certified the election results a 3-1 vote. A Republican chose not to go along with that particular group, which means that the election in Michigan certified by that Board of Canvassers. Also, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court knocked down the latest Trump challenge. But not only that, guess who finally decided to do her damn job? Emily Murphy, the head of the GSA. Go to my iPad, please. This was a letter that she has sent to Joe Biden. Joe Biden, as the administrator of the U.S. General Services Administration, I have the ability under the Presidential Transition Act of 1963, as amended, to make certain post-election resources and services available to assist in the event of a presidential transition. She goes on and on and on, blah, 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 blah. To be clear, I did not receive any direction to delay my determination. Yeah, right. I did, however, receive threats online, by phone, and by mail directed at my safety, my family, my staff, even my pets, in an effort to coerce me into making this determination prematurely. Even in the face of thousands of threats, I always remain committed to upholding the law. Whatever. Then she writes, contrary to media reports and insinuations, my decision was not made out of fear or favoritism. Whatever. I strongly believe that the statute requires that the GSA administrator ascertain, not impose, the apparent president-elect. Again, more BS, blah, 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 blah. This does not have to be a 2-page letter. She then says that, of course, they're going to be making available $6.3 million to the Biden transition team. In addition, $1 million is authorized to provide appointee orientation sessions and a transition directory. So all the rest of this stuff is signed by Emily Murphy, whatever the hell. Let's go to my panel here, talk about all the latest developments that's been going on, folks, in this busy day and busy weekend. Dr. Avis Jones, the Weaver political analyst, Mustafa Santiago Ali, PhD, former senior advisor for environmental justice, EPA, and then later we'll have Rena Shaw, the Lincoln Project Women's Coalition. Go to you, Mustafa. You've worked for federal government. First of all, a lot of different things are going on here. Let's first go to the GSA. Emily Murphy, she ain't fooling nobody. Emily Murphy, bottom line is she was doing Trump's bidding here. They did not want to say that Joe Biden was the president-elect. But after what Michigan did and Pennsylvania, Donald Trump, no options. Sucker, you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, they know what the rules are. They know how they should be moving forward. And there was intentionality in this. Everyone knows it. The intentionality was to, continue to slow down, hopefully run out the clock on the other side and find, some fertile ground for the foolishness that they were trying to move forward with. And, in all the administrations that I worked in, both Democrat and Republican, there was always a peaceful and respectful transition of power, understanding how difficult it is, all these issues that folks are focusing on, and to make sure that the new incoming administration has the information so that they can, hit the ground running, if you will. So for the GSA to play these games, we know where the direction was coming from, but they were putting people's lives in danger each day that they weren't allowing, the incoming Biden administration to do their job, to be prepared, to help to get the steps in place. So I'm glad that they finally got here, but it took a lot of pressure to make folks just to do the right thing. My grandmother says, when you know better, do better. They knew better. It's a shame that it took them this long to do better.
You got people who talk about, oh, it's the law. No, it's not, Avis. The reality is this here. She was playing games. Joe Biden was a president-elect. Donald Trump couldn't overturn anything. And these were the games they were playing, pure and simple. That's what happened when you're dealing with a narcissistic, petty, let's just go ahead and say it, a man who was 100% bitch-assness.
I couldn't say it better myself. But absolutely, she was part of this whole grand delusion in which has been, I would believe, I would call it a coordinated action, not only involving the president, but a lot of his cronies all around the country including individuals who may not necessarily be included in any collusion per se, and what he's trying to do, which is I would call a coup, an attempted coup. But you also have countless Republicans who have been too cowardice to even call a thing, right? They've been allowing this to continue. And so when she finally comes up and does this, I'm thinking, well, it's about time. But I'm also wondering if it has something to do with the fact that she was supposed to testify on Capitol Hill. And maybe she just wanted to make sure that this thing was right before that happened, because she knew what she was doing was outside the boundaries of what she was supposed to be doing. There was no way she could have justified that in front of elected officials.
Rena, these folks are pure trash. We're seeing it. We're seeing how Trump simply cannot handle losing, can't do it gracefully, never was going to do it. That's just simply how he is. And Republicans have allowed this nonsense to go on for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we shouldn't be surprised because this nonsense has gone on the past 4 years, if you really stretch it, 5. So what I really believe we see here is a political appointee who didn't have the moral courage to do the right thing until push really came to shove. And it's my home base congressman right now, Jerry Connolly, a Democrat here in Virginia, who oversees a committee in which Emily Murphy has to report to. And so I think he put out a great thread for anybody who's interested on Twitter the other day, really explaining what so many Americans don't know, that this is very much a political appointment that she has. She is a Trump loyalist. And as I put out today on Twitter, I said, Trump loyalists need to realize one thing, that they will never get his loyalty in return. That is the bottom line. So maybe some of them are waking up to it, but this was about our country. This was about our process. This was about something so much bigger than Trump. And it's a shame that people really couldn't understand that this is not just unheard of. This does not happen in modern presidential era at all. But the reality is that you put our country in a unique position at which not just our adversaries, but our allies feel like there's pure chaos on the ground. And I don't know if that's part of a long game. Look, I mean, with Trump, it sometimes takes time to be able to see that. I do think there is something of a strategy here he's got in mind that has yet to reveal itself. But I think what I really saw in people like Emily Murphy and Republicans coming to the side of Trump and saying, we shouldn't let Biden have access, they were really, frankly, being hypocrites. They weren't understanding that national security is the one issue that they harp on over and over again. They'll do it right up until January. And that election in Georgia, the Senate election, Republicans love to hammer home national security. Well, how rich of it that they would put our country in such great chaos and put our national security on the line by not allowing Biden to have what he is frankly entitled to.
Yeah, she didn't want to have to go before the courts. Let's talk about, of course, what is taking place, them losing left and right. Now they're trying to attack the folks in Georgia. They have certified their election results there. Michigan has certified their election results. Pennsylvania is on their way. So, look, they got no play here. Then, of course, we saw the Trump people over the weekend fire a crazy, deranged, nutcase attorney, Sidney Powell. Mustafa, these people are sick and demented.
Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani. I'm at a loss for words with these folks because it's like they're operating from another planet. I mean, President Trump has struck out 3 times and more, actually. But I mean, after 3 times, it's really time for you to give it up. You got a life after this. You'll still have people who will follow you and believe, the conspiracy theories and other things that you've been pumping into our country over the last 4 years. So it's just time to move on. You can't continue to lose court case after court case. Sometimes, actually, some of the judges was pissed off that you actually brought some of this stuff in front of them, and they actually explained that to the attorneys that were in charge of the cases, that you're literally wasting the court's time. So, it's time to go. You can go on down the street there to Walmart or wherever, get your bags and go ahead and move on.
That is simple as that. And what you're dealing with, again, you deal with sore losers, including some of these trolls run our YouTube account. And it's just real simple. Y'all lost. Suck it up. You lost, Avis.
Yeah, but they're still engaged in shenanigans. They're trying to do yet another recount in Georgia. They are right now in the process of a recount in Wisconsin, but it's not a statewide recount, of course. It's a recount that specifically focuses on the areas like, Milwaukee, where you'll have a disproportionate number of Black people. They're looking to recount just that small area of the state and then have their cronies there that are in essence challenging each and every vote, trying to throw out as many votes as humanly possible. This is really an attempted coup. I just feel like language is very important. We don't need to sort of mask what's going on here. He is trying to take away the vote specifically and disproportionately of Black people all around this country so that he can, quote unquote, win. That is really what he's attempting to do. If he would get anything to go in his favor, that's what would happen. And so I really think that what's going on here shows the importance of being able to strengthen the Voting Rights Act when the Biden-Harris administration gets into office. That needs to be a top priority. And in order for that to happen, we need the Senate, because we know that a Republican-controlled Senate is not going to let something like that move. And so this is a critically important. I don't think that we've seen our voting rights be attacked so fervently and so boldly since the end of Jim Crow. It is just disgusting to see, and we have to fight back.
And again, they lost. And my whole deal is take this ass whooping like a man, Trump.
He can't do it, Roland. He can't do it at all. Bottom line. I mean, look at who he's got for his legal defense. Rudy Giuliani, who hasn't been in court in some 3 decades? He hasn't fought a case in court in over 3 decades, I believe. Sidney Powell, who was one time respected, I believe, but really showed her true colors of every shade of crazy at that press conference. That was really disheartening. And the only reason she's on the outs with the Trump campaign is because Tucker Carlson called her to the carpet. That's the only reason. So I think what's at the root here, and this is something that I think really deserves a longer conversation as we move along in these next weeks and months. I mean, this is obviously a tough time. This past 3 weeks has been extremely tough for many Americans who watch and who trust our system to feel like blow after blow. Like, how can this guy still have a case? I get a lot of right-wing media in my inbox every day. I get multiple bits of it. I don't just get text messages, I get newsletters. And so I see what they're reading. I mean, my career on the right, I'm still very much a conservative, albeit a small C one, but I see what today's Republicans are reading, and it's scary stuff. These newsletters are more like, really Reddit threads. It's stuff like Alan Dershowitz says that Trump still has 3 pathways outlined in the Constitution to
I don't give a damn what Alan Dershowitz is a hack who, first of all, take your Jeffrey Epstein loving ass on. I can't. I'm so sick of that punk, who's a Trump lackey as well.
Yeah, but these are the people they push forward, as Sidney Powell, Alan Dershowitz, Rudy. These are people who don't have their sense anymore, and they're still revered. They're still in high regard because they've been given a post by Trump to say, "Hey, take this and run." If that doesn't tell the average person how Looney Tunes the whole defense of it is, the fact that he cannot concede, like, just truly what is in poor fashion. This is really what it comes down to, is that history books will not treat him kindly. But I see what's happening already. I see this setup. I see how the right-wing media complex is going to play this. They're going to continue to make money off of the clicks that they'll get from the Trump-basis supporters saying that Emily Murphy waited until the day that, Michigan said this. And there's still a case out there in Wisconsin, by the way. It's not statewide. Like Ava said, when you read the details, the average person knows there's nothing here. But what they continue to sell to their base is for profit. It's this fake narrative that there's been an election that's stolen, and it's Black and brown people that are in the way, and they are the people who are trying to subvert the will of real Americans who love freedom and liberty like you and me. That's the message I get every day.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, lots more of it.
The right-wing media apparatus, Newsmax, OANN, all of these sites, they are going to be pushing this conspiracy stuff for the next 4 years. That's why I need y'all folks to understand why this show matters, why you got to support what we do, because let me be clear, we are going to counter their lies every single step of the way. We're going to be a thorn in their side. We're going to give them hell. When they lie, we're going to call it out. That's why every single time one of these Black Republicans comes on this show and they start lying, I shut them down. I love it when they say, "Why you always interrupt Republicans?" I didn't interrupt Rena because she wasn't lying. See, that's why they get mad.
I'm also not a Trumplican. You know that.
No. But what I'm saying is, what they don't like, they love to go on these other shows, go on Fox News, go on Newsmax, go on OANN, and go on the rest of it, and they love to lie. And they don't like when somebody has the facts and stops their lying. Well, when you bring your ass on this show, I'm shutting you down with your lies, because we are not going to feed this crap to our audience. We're not going to sit here and allow them to continue the games that they play. And that's exactly what's going on with the games that they're playing. Folks, pull up my next guest on this particular topic as well, because, again, we're talking about, matter of fact, as we're pulling them up, I saw this video. I've seen it a couple of times. Leslie Jones tweeted this out, and it really speaks just a whole lot to how I feel right now. Y'all, roll it.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here. You about to lose that job. You about to lose that job. This thing. You about to lose that job. Oh my goodness. You about to lose your job. This thing. You about to lose your job. This thing. You about to lose your job. 'Cause you are entertaining me. You about to lose your job. This thing. You about to lose your job. This thing. You about to lose.
Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.